and the winner of season 2 of Camp Wannakiki, Tora Hyman. And Austin International Drag Fest's Cheeki Kahnt, with my guest co-host, nightlife guru, and handsome hottie, Anthony John is here, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, this is going to be a bumpy night. Buttons and bows and pantyhose, On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. I feel so sorry for anybody who hates the gays. We have 3 different drag race shows this season. 2 Real Housewives groups are back on TV. And now Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande are, having a love fest. I mean, come on, taste the rainbow. Today's show is brought to you by DragFor.Fans, by the founders of the top award-winning site, JustFor.Fans. DragFor.Fans connects drag queens and their fans. Sign up for free at DragFor.Fans. If you are a fan or a content creator, start making money today while you're at home, honey. Stop giving it away for free on Instagram Live. Hello. Kurt, do you have a pun for us today?
I do, yes. I knew a woman who owned a taser. She was pretty stunning.
My God, I thought you were going to say... Oh, no, Kurt. I thought you were going to say nothing shocks her. Yeah. Kurt, by the way, Kurt went hiking, for our listeners a little behind the scenes. Kurt went hiking, I guess, all day Sunday and Monday, and I didn't hear from him today. I literally almost called the police to do a search. Kurt, you can't leave me alone like that.
Sorry.
This show is brought to you by Straw Hat Media. You can watch and or listen to every one of our now over 200 episodes for free at ontherrocksradioshow.com. New episodes drop every Thursday. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Roku, Pandora's podcast section. Watch us on YouTube and on the Facebook pages of Trending Now, GED Magazine, and I Love Gay LGBT, and of course on the Rocks Radio Show Facebook page. And we are streaming live right now on the Trending Now app. Add and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will show up with my mask, of course. Info at ontherrocksradioshow.com. Send us your questions, comments, and nudes. I actually got some nudes last week, so thank you. Upcoming events. Just kidding. They're all been canceled. But catch the new issue of Metrosource National Magazine for my interviews with Leslie Jordan, pop star Luciana, the band Betty, and Byron Lane, who just wrote A Star Is Born, and it's about his time being Carrie Fisher's personal assistant, so you know it's good. It's on newsstands and online June 1st. Yes, I can read and write, allegedly. All right, let me introduce you my tipsy sister in crime who's going to help us keep it together today. Anthony John is a man of many hats because he barely wears pants. He has worked on production for some of the most well-known gay adult studios on earth, and for over a decade has worked on almost every level of production of major events in gay nightlife, coast to coast and internationally. He is now the executive producer for his very own Anthony John Presents, with such nightlife brands as Bleep and Bloop. This is a family-friendly show. I can't name them. About a year ago, Anthony accepted the position of director of events for JustFor.Fans, and more recently took up the reins as the business director for DragFor.Fans, a very busy man who still has time for happy hour and Star Wars Legos. Please welcome my co-host for today, Anthony John.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you? Oh my God, there he is. So handsome.
Hello. You even got the Star Wars Legos in there. So stalker. Someone's stalking.
No, we've had our own private happy hour Zooms. And then you built like this massive Star Wars Lego set. So I got so jealous. So I went to Target with my mask, and they were all sold out of Star Wars. They had like a Jurassic Park set. And I was like, no, thank you. No. So Anthony, tonight we are celebrating every kind of drag, and I do mean every kind. What was your first exposure to drag?
Oh, wow. Well, it was a long time ago. Let's see. My first exposure to drag must have been when I was in the Air Force. I was up in Alaska. And shout out, yeah. Oh wait, yeah.
Do you have any uniform pics?
You'll get them later.
I love a man in uniform.
No, I was stationed in Alaska, and there was a wonderful gay club bar out there. Yeah, during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell stage, and it's called Mad Myrna's. Yeah, Mad Myrna's. It's still there, and so shout out to Mad Myrna's. And they would do drag shows, and it was like the only night where the straights would come out and the gays would sneak around pretending to be straight in the Don't Ask, Don't Tell era. And we'd see Kristara and all the wonderful drag queens. It was very drag. It was a lot of fun.
That is so also interesting. I just can't even imagine being in Alaska and be like, let's go see a drag show, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, were they cold on stage? Like, did they have to wear like fur on stage?
Yeah, I think there were fur moments, I'm sure. But no, they were like very like pageant. It was very like bigger than life drag queens.
Yeah.
I brought my mom to it when she visited, and it was a lot of fun. One of them was like a snatchy like waitress that would walk around and like she wouldn't walk away until you tipped her. She'd be like, she's like 80. It was like I miss her.
Now the percentage I've heard in Alaska, there's just so many men and not very many women. Did you get a lot of action in Alaska?
I thought it was family friendly. Did I? Yeah. Well, I actually had a boyfriend for most of the time in the Air Force. So.
There must have been a lot of bear traps.
No. We're just sounded.
Kurt's like, this show's too gay for me. I'm oh, there it is.
Oh.
The situation is very interesting for you because you have this whole experience with nightlife. You do events all around the nation, almost every week. I see all of your social media posts, things that you're promoting or you're a part of, or that you put your name on. And of course, we know everything's kind of closed right now, but then you're involved with Drag4Fans and Just for Fans. And we know content saturation and content production is at an all-time high right now. I know even for the show, like our viewership and listenership is up by 300% in 30 days. And that's because people are at home that are saturating content, they're bored, and so they're looking at a bunch of stuff. So you have these two sides to you. One's not doing anything and the other one is like booming. How do you keep that like all together in your head and then dealing with quarantine?
Well, it was the year started off really, really strong on the event side for me, and I was very excited. It was going to be my jumping off on my Anthony John Presents and finally get the confidence in your own parties. And everyone's complaining. If you remember in January, everyone's complaining about January. It was horrible for a lot of people. I don't know why. I had this tremendous month where once February hit, I looked back and I went, there's no way I'm going to do all these events. There's no way by myself. It was so good. And then, of course, why? But I'm very, very, very lucky. I'm very lucky to have diversified my portfolio a little bit with Just for Fans. And then Drag4Fans really just launched with everything that's going on for all the right reasons. And it's been bittersweet. I really wanted to do what I was planning on doing, but I'm very, very happy and very thankful for the position I'm in because there's a lot of people doing much worse than I am. So I'm very, very happy. And then people are making money off of what we're doing. So it's keeping a lot of people alive. And the Just for Fans, we could talk about that on our own thing, but I mean, they're obviously up so much with new models left and right from all over the world. And it's just, it's not a sign of desperation. I think it's really putting people into it. I could do this.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. And it's something fun. People are learning new skills. They're being creative, and people are
learning
coming
new
in.
Skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello. But you are a New York boy, and you've actually been quarantining on the West Coast with family. What's that been like? I mean, I love my family, but after a few days, I'm like, beep, bitch.
My mom's probably at the door right now. Well, it's been nice.
Hi, Mom.
It's been nice. It's been nice. Again, very lucky. I was able, as soon as Mayor de Blas He as soon as he mentioned shelter and storm, my boyfriend looked at me. He's like, "Would you want to stay in this little apartment in Midtown during this?" So we bought a flight. We came out. We planned 2 weeks. We've been here 2.5 months. But I have a lot of family, Irish and Italian, the Mormons of the East Coast. So we have lots of brothers and sisters that I could jump around and you know, on their couches or whatnot. But I'm leaving Friday. I'm going back home. I don't care if there's a second wave. I'm going home. I'm dying in New York.
Oh my God. Well, you'll be in good company. It'll be you and Patty LaPone.
Oh no. Oh. And the man of the poor.
Oh God. What 3 things have you learned from this season of RuPaul's Drag Race?
Season alone?
Yeah.
Oh. I read the question wrong. Okay. First, I mean, your past will haunt you in this day and age. Be very careful. This season alone, wow. You know, I don't know. I don't know about this season. I know Drag Race in general, what it has taught me, but Drag Race this season, I think the one thing that really sticks out is the Sherry Pie thing. I think it really put a damper on a lot. Every time I see her, I'm sure she's she's talented, you know, at least in that, well, in other fields apparently, but she's, you know, very good at what she does. And I'm looking at her going, oh, damn, girl. But on the same note, you look at all these other people that tried out that could have had a spot, you know, and maybe they may not have gone this far, but they would have had a spot in it. And you see the people like that are going home. Jackie Cox went home, and you're going, damn, she could have been top, you know, and it's like, it's kind of a bummer to watch. So, I mean, if anything, you know, just mind your P's and Q's, you know, let's, you know, be good to people, you know, because it'll come back.
I mean, it's a horrible situation, but I think it is good that we see that nobody is immune. Your drag cannot save you if you're a deplorable person. There's a level of professionalism that you have to keep in any genre, whether you're in the adult industry, whether you're in the drag industry, whether you're a server, whether you're president of a company. You know, you have to be professional, and that will not escape you. The 3 things I have learned from this season of RuPaul is some foods just don't sit well on the palate, such as catfish and cherry pie. Also, masks don't always save lives. RuPaul's Mastering Reunion. Also, I learned my catchphrase for my bedroom activities. Look over there.
That was thought out. But that was good. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, drinking at home, it did bring that in. You know, it has brought drinking at home normal again. I think. Did we get drunk once? Was it?
Like 3 times.
Well, I know, but was it during Drag Race, or was it just because we wanted to? I think you just hit me up.
It was just because, yeah. Well, and you and I might be working on something that we'll be talking more about Drag Race, but I want to introduce our first guest of the evening. So excited. I've had a crush on our guest for so long. Glitter on the mountain. Please welcome to the show, Honey Davenport, with over a decade of experience in the entertainment industry. James Heath Clark, aka Honey Davenport, has left an indelible mark on the New York City nightlife scene and beyond, touring the world as a singer, dancer, actor, drag superstar, and club DJ. They are a vocal activist whose music speaks to the experiences of the oppressed, calling for social justice and equality for all, and hailing from West Philadelphia. Hey, West Philly. Davenport holds 18 pageant crowns, 6 glam awards, and 0 tolerance for discrimination and bullshit. They competed on season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race and will appear in the upcoming feature film, God Save the Queens. And additionally, they have served as guest panelists on VH1's Black Girl Beauty, and they were featured in the international ad campaign for Trustpilot in 2019. And Davenport's off-Broadway theater credits include leading roles in The Electric Highway and Trinkets, as well as a major role in The Orion Experience, critically acclaimed, by the way. You better read those reviews, girl. They also performed in the Broadway national tour of Hairspray. New York Magazine has called Davenport one of the top 100 most powerful drag queens in America. Please welcome Honey Davenport. Hey girl, hi.
Hey.
Hey,
You look
hey,
fabulous, babe. You look so good. Yeah. Well, you know, this quarantine hasn't treated everybody so good. So when people have zoomed in, I'm so anxious to see what they're gonna look like, because some of y'all look like Boo Boo, but
it's so real. You know, I I was reading through the notes for today's interview, and like I was starting to get in drag, and I was like, should I get all the way in drag? And then I looked at the notes, and I was like, maybe I should get like almost there. Like I should just get, you know.
Well, your outfit is something I've been wearing to the mailbox, by the way. You know, I get all dressed up to the mailbox.
You know,
so,
it's
honey,
quarantine friendly.
Oh my God, it is. Yes, it's so on point. We have so much to talk about. But first questions first. First things first, let's get out of the way. What the hell was RuPaul wearing for the reunion?
Yeah, like, okay, so I really appreciate it when she did her face Kini look on season 10. That was dope. I think that this was somewhere in the middle. I don't really know. I didn't really know what to think of it, but I was so gagged on all of the other antics of the season that I really wasn't bothered or impressed by what RuPaul was on this year's finale. There were so many other amazing things to watch.
Yeah. I just thought it was a bit odd, and I was like, I thought it was a joke, and then like halfway in, it was going to be this big reveal. But honey, I want.
But I mean, that would have been really dope. But honestly, I think that Drag Race is about the contestants of Drag Race, and the contestants fucking brought it. Like what Britta pulled out was Kahnt with Jada. Oh my God, Jada Essental. If the reunion was like runway challenge, Jada won. Like,
yeah, hands down.
And then there's Team Jada, Team Jada, Team Jada.
And the Crystal Method auditioning for Charles Dickens. What the F? You know, anyway.
It was so interesting. Definitely art, definitely drag. I definitely appreciate it. I love that drag is in a place where, you know, I was talking to some friends the other day, and they were like, what is drag to you? And drag is when you use yourself as the canvas for your art. That's all, in my opinion. And so I love that kind of drag. I love the kind of drag where, you know, we already blurred gender lines with it and with makeup. It's when you take it another step to say, I'm also genderless, and now I'm a painting. Like, things like that make me really excited. So I was here for what Crystal had to bring.
You know what, that is so well put, and it really kind of answers, you know, there can be so many social media haters because it's so easy to make a comment, but then you make a statement like that really brings it home. It brings respect to the artistry involved, as well as the LGBT community, as well as the drag community, and it makes perfect sense. I want to talk about your upbringing and childhood. There's a mix of a lot of things there. There's so many different elements that make you who you are. You boxed as a childhood hobby. You served as squadron commander for junior ROTC. Ooh, a man in uniform. There we go again.
You did your research.
Yeah. Look at this. Oh, all right. Noted. Don't mess with honey.
Well, but also, and on a more serious note, you dealt a lot with gun violence that you lost a lot of people to. And these are all kind of masculine themes to deal with. You know, from like military theme to boxing to gunfighting. How did that play a part in developing your feminine side? Did it help you or did it stifle you?
Well, the feminine side definitely stifled me from falling into what the world typically thought was a man. And the masculine side definitely stops me from dealing with what the drag and LGBT community sometimes feels like is a queen or effeminate. I don't really care, nor have I ever. I've always kind of just been my own me, no matter how much scrutiny I came against for it. It's always felt better to be authentically who I am than like the very, very few times in life where I tried to put one on for somebody. So like, honestly, in things like my feminine qualities, I used to get notes in Hairspray saying that I look too gay in Good Morning Baltimore Girl. Like, how, there's nothing you can do. If you can't be straight enough for Good Morning Baltimore, like, just quit being a boy. Right? And on the same token, there are parts of me that I've never felt like Honey Davenport was a female impersonator or a woman. I've always felt like that Honey Davenport, if anything, when people ask me my gender, as Honey Davenport, I said like deity. Like I've created a god or a goddess. And I don't think that those things have gender necessarily. And I really just use my like art as a platform to express my emotions and my creativity. So those masculine and feminine things, drag is a place where masculine and feminine are normally accepted. So that's a really cool place for me to use my art. But the being butcher than the normal queen didn't stop me from doing anything other than bottoming more, because I really wish I could bottom a little more than I do. But when you're not
career for you, honey, don't worry.
Well, when you're not,
I see a crossover.
Well, when you're not like the most feminine guy and you have 9.5-inch dick, people just like assume that you're top, especially like all drag queens are top now. And I'm like, why would I want to do all of that work after my show? I want somebody else to do the work. So
you're getting much better.
In many things, that's the only thing that the blurs of my gender have, affected. But I've never been the right thing to fit in any box. Like I said this when I walked onto the show, and it used to be one of the lyrics in one of my songs from my band, with my band Electro Honey. And I wrote that song when I was dealing with my gender expression, and there really weren't words for it at the time. And I do consider myself gender neutral, but I really didn't even have those words at that time when I wrote the song. And so one of the lyrics were labels don't fit me. And so when I walked into Drag Race, I was like, listen, I wear Givenchy, but labels don't fit me. Like that's kind of what I am,
But I love that. I love that. I talk so much on the show about how labels, it can help us identify somebody, but then that's what we become. And I think in the LGBT community, we have been so affixed to these labels that we've forgotten how to communicate with each other. We've forgotten how to appreciate people outside their labels. And in some cases, it can become a little damaging and limiting, especially when we're trying to build bridges with people outside of our community. If we get mad at somebody because they don't understand our labels, or they don't subscribe to those, that doesn't really open up a conversation.
Right. And then what's always very funny to me with our community is how much we want to fight for equality and equal treatment, but we're unable to give our own that same kind of acceptance. Like we definitely click off and separate in a way, and then we don't give, especially, I mean, I don't hate you. I am definitely the kind of person who always is like, treat Black people and women better. Because especially in the LGBT community, like a community that's been so disenfranchised, for us to treat people of color and women the way we do is utterly ridiculous. And yet we continue to do it always.
I want to talk about your very first like big kind of job we had talked about was Hairspray. And that was in the national tour, right?
Yeah, I was on the Broadway national tour of Hairspray. That's a much lighter topic than social justice.
but this all ties in and makes us who we are, and these are the kind of conversations that we should be happening. You shouldn't just stick to one thing. We're so angry with everybody right now, when we're forgetting there's all these elements that are making us who we are.
But the thing is too, I am not angry because I express myself through my art. There are a lot of other ways that I could express myself. For instance, take the situation and Hairspray truly gave me this to loop it all in. Hairspray is a beautiful expression about acceptance and how we should all treat each other the same way every single day. Like every single day, not just 1 month out of the year, not just one day out of the month. And it makes all of those beautiful themes lighthearted and fun. And it definitely instilled something in me that let me know that I could do that with my own art. And honestly, that's been my sanity, because when you experience traumatic things like racism or sexism, you have some options in how you deal with that. And for me, the way I've dealt with it is I've turned it into a performance of some sort, or a song of some sort. I even dare say my walkout from a bar that I quit a couple years ago in New York City was a performance at the same time. It was the best way for me to express the anger that I felt from receiving that type of racism. And like, you have options when you're dealing with, traumatic situations. And a lot of times we choose, I'm gonna get them back with a punch, or I'm gonna cancel them online or whatever. But sometimes just creating from it heals you and puts you in a position to heal the whole world dealing with the same topic.
Yeah, when you did that, you and I remember that clearly and before I ever met you or knew about you, I read all about what the attention you brought to that situation, and it was done in such a way that was took a lot of guts. That took a lot of guts to like go out there and say, no, I'm not taking any qualms. This is what's happening, and this is what's happening everywhere. And the way you did it, I think, opened up a lot of eyes to a lot of people in nightlife of like, wait a minute, she's got a point. Some people are doing it on purpose. Some people are just doing it not thinking about it. But simple things like diversifying a flyer or something means a lot. I mean, do you want to welcome everyone in our community, or do you want to just pretend, oh, it's always been this way? Or
have your token night. It's Latin night.
Exactly. Have a token night. Yeah, and I'm going, I don't go to those nights. There's no money spent on me or on you.
Could you imagine if clubs only had white night like once? Y'all can come in. Y'all can listen
I think
to
there might
Britney
be a
Spears.
few.
It's called Friday nights at the Abbey.
Only time you get Britney Spears is on Fridays. No other day of the week. Like, can you imagine?
That's
like,
so funny. That's crazy.
It's something that we never would do. And I think that we're living in a world, especially in a country, America is built on racism. And I think that what we need to do in order to progress is we need to stop looking at the word racist as a bad word. Racist is an ignorant person, somebody who hasn't been taught properly how to treat everybody. And the good thing about that is that you can learn if you're not fighting against it. But if we look at you've been racist or you've done something racist as this like bad, you are doomed and you are a terrible person type thing, it doesn't leave you any room to grow. So if I think I don't have no room to grow from a situation, I'm not figuring out how to fix it. If we could address racism in a way that, like, if I say you did something racist, it's just a call to action on how to fix this thing that we've all been taught that we don't even know that we're doing. Like, not that you're a bad person, you've been taught a bad thing. Let's unlearn it.
On the same note, is it fair if, say, someone's having a bad day and they act an absolute ignorant ass, and they just and they're caught on film and they're usually you if you know, you're like, oh, they're not racist, they're having, but they say something, or they get under someone's skin, or they do something rude and mean and ignorant,
or they drink too much,
or they drink too much or something. But right away, I think what we're are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
No, this is tea.
Were you looking at? Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know who
she's spilling the tea, honey. She is spilling that tea.
But you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm in California. I'm in California, so this is my turnip of choice today.
Oh, hello. But that's all I was saying. Is like, are we so quick to take someone and destroy their entire life, or is that opening up a dialogue by the way we're reacting to certain situations? Now, I'm not talking about mass marches and racist things going on and murders and things like that, but I'm talking about like every single thing that happens, we bring it to this drag to hell, ruin their entire life. Because does that open the conversation, or does it shut the door and the opportunity to have the conversation?
I think that cancel culture is the most dangerous thing in our world today. It's the most dangerous, fucking scary.
You never know when you're getting canceled.
I'm not afraid of anything, but cancel culture is just something like, and I'm like, if I was afraid of things, like, I mean, I've done a lot of work in life to have somebody kind of fucking come and cancel it. I will say that, and I also, looking back at situations where it could look like I canceled somebody, with the monster situation, I never asked for people to stop going there. I never called for anything to be done to the management or the manager of there. In fact, I offered the bar a peace agreement of meeting in person and dissolving the whole situation publicly, which they denied. I never encourage people to stop going there. I have friends who work there. I have friends who started working there after said incident happened. Like, there's a way to be like, hey, this happened. But like, I'm not saying that these are bad people. I'm saying these people did a bad thing to me. And until they fucking apologize, I'm not coming back. Do as you wish. Like, you know, and we could address like everything like that. Like, I heard you guys talking about the Drag Race scandals from earlier this year. I think that what I like to just say Voldemort because people get so upset when you say
yes.
So I just call her Voldemort. She's been so deleted from everything that I feel that I'm going to fucking get attacked now if I say her name. She got disqualified. She got cut as much as possible. Like, that's it. The punishment. Like, let that bitch go about her life now. Like, that's cancel culture is a death sentence.
Yeah, and
it's literally a living death sentence.
And you know, there could be an opportunity for her to come out and say, "This is what I did wrong," and then keep that education going. Not just one apology, but continue a conversation. Obviously, there's a psyche, there's a damaged person that did this, and so it's better for us all to understand where that damage came from, what the psychosis was, and how we could be a better community to avoid that in the future.
Right, and we need to look at the fact that there hasn't been more apology, and there haven't been more work done to it.
Yeah.
So things like that show you, like, it's not like she needs to be canceled, but like, even I say to this day, if the monster were to come out and be like, hey, honey Davenport, we were wrong. We are sorry. These are words they never said. You know what I'm saying? Then it's okay. Not okay, but it's a point from which we can move past. You know,
put in an effort. You got to put in an effort.
Yeah, I don't think that she's given us a point in which we can move past, but I don't think that she deserves death threats or like to never be able to do drag again. You know, like that I think that she should have to do some serious time.
Drag queen storytelling better be on her list. She better get the kids and start reading some fairy tales.
I don't want her near nobody's kids. I don't think I want her.
Oh yeah, actually no. You're right. Bad example.
She needs to tell stories.
A soup kitchen.
Yeah, she needs a soup kitchen or something like that.
Her fingers have been.
Sherry pie, serve it up clam chowder.
Right?
All right, honey Davenport, we're gonna play a little rapid fire, a little on the rocks rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, you are producing a Broadway musical based on your life. What is the title of the musical?
Huh?
I love that. Besides yourself, who would you have crowned winner of Drag Race season 11?
Besides myself, who would I have crowned the winner of Drag Race season 11? Can I count when I re-entered as a different version of me? No. No. I think that Evie Oddly was the best choice. But I think that, first off, I want to say that my pick is Evie Oddly because I think that she was a really well-rounded queen and the best choice. But if I had to pick another queen other than who they picked, I love everything that is Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and I wish we had more chances to get who she actually is from television. I always say for my season, like, even more than me, like, she's so misunderstood. And if anybody knew the Silky that I know, like, y'all would be like, that person is just like 100%. So,
you know, that would take some convincing. I've run into her twice and they have not been good experiences at all. To the point, I called my mom right after and I'm like, yeah, you were right, Mom.
But I mean, you got to imagine if the world is kind of destroying you the way that she was set up to be destroyed from the fandom, it's kind of hard to actually be the real version of yourself, you know?
Yeah. Okay, worst onstage mishap of all time. And it could be theater or pageant.
Most onstage mishap of all time. When I was 14 years old, I did an international tour to Africa, and we were performing for some like legit royalty in Nigeria. We were in Ile Ife, which is like the center of the Yoruba culture. And there was like one little curtain blocking us. And I was a 14-year-old boy, like had my like boxer briefs on, and whoever went out the curtain before me left it open, and I didn't notice. And I was turned around, took off one costume, and like you could see my
8.5. Yeah. We've already covered that part.
You can see a lot of things. But at 14,
I could see your balls.
At 14, I was so embarrassed by all of them. And it's Africa. You're performing for legit royalty. So like, I just cried so much to like the next scene I was in, I was still crying that like the whole audience, because I was just such a like 14-year-old little pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Who's a cast member from season 11 that you don't mind never having to see again?
A cast member from season 11 that I don't mind not having to see again.
Ooh, a spicy one.
I love all of my.
Oh, come on! You better fill that.
But the bitch who I don't want to see, she know her fucking name. I ain't giving her no free airtime. Don't hit me up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't you give them free airtime.
All right, and finally, who is your celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush is Jake Gyllenhaal. Always has been.
Okay. All right. Was he the top or the bottom? I always forget.
Oh, he's gonna be verse for me.
Brokeback Mountain, right?
He always has that vacant look. He's like,
yeah.
It could be worse. It could be Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I mean, we can have threesomes.
Hate it when your brother gets all the looks.
Yeah. All right, honey, tell our viewers and our listeners where they can find you.
You can find me at Honey Davenport Official on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram. They're both Honey Davenport Official. On my Twitter and my DragFor.Fans, you can find me at Honey_Davenport. My DragFor.Fans is my virtual hub where you can like catch all that is like really going on and up to date and important with me. And also, just so you know, I just have a lot of new things that I'm releasing there. So like, you want to go get into my DragFor.Fans. Both my Twitter and my DragFor.Fans are Honey_Davenport. So check those out and catch everything grand and fabulous about me. But I always tell people the best way to support me is to download my music on iTunes. Yes. And my music, I always say, is my best merch that I have out there. But if you want merch, is that officialhoneyd.com?
Yes, girl. All right, honey, it has been such a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy the rest of quarantine, and hopefully we will see you live in person soon.
Yes. Bye. Bye.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we have Maxie Glamour with us when we come back. And we're back. All right. That's how fast we do it here. I want to introduce Maxie Glamour, hailing from St. Louis. Maxie Glamour is a drag queen and multimedia queer artist known as the Demon Queen of Polka and Baklava. The androgynous blue deity from Dragula Season 3, which is streaming on Netflix, by the way, has been on the scene since the age of 18, and their mission, promote, celebrate, and grow the queer art community. Please welcome to the show, Maxie Glamour.
Yes.
It is put on tonight.
Hi,
Maxie.
Hi, I think it's.
You look great. Can you hear us?
I can hear you all. I think it's like echoing.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Oh.
I don't hear it. That could be annoying though on your side.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen, so it's kind of like, oh, thank you for doing that. Wonderful. There we are.
And we're back.
Live theater.
It's such a joy to quote unquote meet you. You know, with the mainstream popularity of like a RuPaul's Drag Race, there's this idea of what drag is, and we forget that there's many drag cultures out there. Coming to learn more about you and your career, I'm like, wow, that is different, and it's something I have not been personally exposed to. How would you describe your drag and what your drag culture is to somebody that has no clue what and who you are.
How would I wow. Well,
we jumped right in there, right in
we're
there.
gonna jump right into
there
it.
was no soft little
nothing.
I don't know.
Tell me what you're wearing. What are you wearing tonight?
I'm trash. I don't know. Like, I feel my drag is, I don't know. It's very Club Kid inspired. I'm from St. Louis, and so the drag here is very pageant. So it's kind of like counterculture. Rock and roll, like old school bluesy, but combats like gender stereotypes through performance art.
I have to know, what was it like coming to LA to film Dragula season 3? Like, where did you stay? How long was the shooting for? Was it your first time to LA area?
We stayed in the shitty motel.
I've heard that. Wait, I heard that, but I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they wanted to like really break us. So like, there were like drug addicts knocking on our door, trying to get heroin at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had to tell them, next door, not here.
That's kind of scary. Was that your first time to Los Angeles?
No. I mean, I've been to Orange County. I used to live in San Francisco for college, so I think maybe because it was in suburbs of LA too, so it was like kind of far out there.
It's funny you say Orange County. I was born and raised in Orange County. What parts of Orange County did you visit?
Laguna Beach area.
I'm literally 5 minutes from there right now because I'm quarantining with my mom in Orange County. Laguna Beach is where I was born and raised. That was the very first gay club I went to, was in Laguna Beach.
Boom Boom Room.
The Boom Boom Room. My mom dragged me into.
Too.
Oh my God! And my mom dragged me into the Boom Boom Room because I didn't want to go. I was so scared. You competed at a very young age of 18. That was your first competition. It was an amateur competition. What did you learn during that competition that you still keep relevant in your performance today?
Well, I don't know. I think that was a really long time ago. What did I learn then, that day? Well, I don't think it's much about days because they all blur together, really.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, just kind of stay true to like my like interests and not really like conform to like what people think drag should be. That's what I learned. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's exactly what you exemplified. I have to tell you, I watched Dragula for the first time because you were coming on the show, and I was entranced from the minute it started. It was such a different type of competition. The type of drag I experienced was something that was so new. And it was very invigorating, I guess. And it was so great to see this other culture of drag, other than what we're seeing like on the VH1. Not that there's nothing wrong with, or that there's anything wrong with that, but there's these subcultures of energy and drag that's happening, and artists that are representing and presenting themselves in totally different ways, which is very exciting. But the Dragula type drag, the monster drag, you know, how I call it, it seems to have a dark element to it. And it seems kind of intimidating and not as warm and welcome as a mainstream drag environment. Is that the case, or is that just how it appears to the outside world?
Well, you know, I think being unapproachable is like a good thing, because then everybody won't want to be your friend.
Well, there were some personalities on season 3 of Dragula that I wouldn't care to be friends with. Let me just put it that way.
I'll let you say that.
Yeah.
No, it is great, and we were saying earlier, Alexander, is you know, drag is, you know, creating, you know, your body as a palette, and or you know, you're an artist. With things like Dragula and these other, as you say, subcultures, they're not really, I don't think they're subcultures, just a whole another aspect of society. But they make it almost like it's part of the, it's like their body's not just a palette, it's a construction site. I mean, it is there to be a piece of art, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And Maxie, you're one of my favorites because because you are definitely like the embodiment of don't judge a book by its cover type thing, because you're right, you're very intelligent, you studied a couple different languages, you know different instruments, you know you have different passions in anthropology and things like that, and you look and you're like, okay, and you're also a total sweetheart. So it's like you can never judge a book by its cover at all. You almost want to go to Maxie's world because it seems like a better world. You know, in a way. And you have a name for your world, right? There's
Moderno Dada.
Yeah, Dada, right?
Moderno Dada, yes.
Yeah, there it is.
It just rolls right off the tongue, especially after
rolls,
4 days.
Yeah,
it's great.
But Maxie, I have to know, you can't be dark and mysterious every day. Like, what's a typical day for you? I mean, do you just ever wear sweatpants and eat Fruit Loops? I mean, are you always on?
I don't eat Fruit Loops.
How dare you call me Fruit Loop on the screen like this?
Girl, the world, Helen Keller is calling you Fruit Loops.
I don't wear sweatpants really either. I do wear pants, like I do wear those. I wear pajama pants a lot, but not sweatpants.
Now, let's say you were to be given a huge opportunity. Would you ever move over to more of a mainstream type of drag in order to participate in a big opportunity?
Like, I mean, I did a Mariah Carey show yesterday, but I was still blue.
Well, after she sings a few of those notes and with her corset, she's somewhere too.
She's slightly blue in her Vegas shows as well.
Girl, she is cinched in, okay?
Like, I like doing ballads and stuff. Like, I like doing, like, you know, there are elements of, like, but I just don't want, you know, I don't want to, like, focus and hop on things that are too trendy right now because they become more disposable. I think it's a waste to create disposable art.
You know, I think as an artist, it must be a toss-up. You know, obviously, you want your name out there, you want to make a career out of it, but then there's also this part that I think a lot of people in Hollywood don't subscribe to, that stay true to themselves and won't sacrifice certain elements of who they are in order just to make money or get their name out there. I think that's highly commendable, but it's got to be this struggle and, you know, a hard choice. What would you have done differently on Dragula to make it a little bit farther?
To make it further, I did a lot beforehand. Like, I was working on, like, just like a lot of community projects and like costuming for stuff and like working on my drag family and like painting murals. And I think I just kind of didn't focus on Dragula. I was like, oh, well, I got it in the bag. And I didn't really realize I didn't.
Well, and you know, the episode that you got, that you left, I thought that mask was wonderful. I thought it fit the challenge and it fit the character so well. I thought your acting was the best of any of those characters. And when you're looking at a Dungeons and Dragons type world, your look and your actions totally encapsulated what that was, whether or not we can see every feature moving. You know, we saw some of the other contestants where I saw too many of their features moving and they still didn't get it, you know? So I have to know, you know, you are a total cutie pie, you know, in makeup, with out of makeup. But I had to know, like, right away, I thought, oh my God, Maxie is so cute. Dating, is it hard to date you because you seem to live such an extreme lifestyle? I wouldn't know what a first date with you would be like or how somebody would approach you. Is it hard to date Maxie Glamour?
My partner probably would say yes.
Yeah. How did you guys meet? Is your partner involved in this drag world?
Yeah, they're also a drag queen. They're my drag daughter, which is weird.
Ooh, incestuous.
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Incest is best.
I think previously, before, like, I've been doing drag and dressing up for a very, very long time. And I think dating previously had been quite hard because, you know, gay men have like internalized homophobia, and like they don't really like gayness, and like when you're a drag queen you're like embodying it, and so they kind of like alienate you in any romantic setting. And so that was definitely hard developing as a young drag persona.
All right, Maxie, we're gonna play a little rapid fire. Are you game?
I guess. Yes, I'm game.
All right. A celebrity you would want to give the Maxi Glamour makeover to?
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Ooh, he's something else.
He is so beautiful.
Ooh,
like
I don't know if I want to cover any of it.
I know. I'd be like, we're gonna do body paint on every inch of your body.
Exactly.
Good choice.
Maxie, what is the most normal thing you do that would surprise us?
I like elevator music. Is that normal?
No, not at all.
Well, you are into polka and baklava, so elevator music isn't too far off, right?
I like superhero movies. That's very normal.
Yes, that is. I would say definitely.
And a little bit of Rogue in the hairstyle tonight. A little Rogue.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit Rogue. It's a little bit Sharon Osbourne. It's gorgeous. A little Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine. In the early years.
In her previous life. Maxie, your single, Life is a Lie, which is now streaming on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, etc. What would the title of your single about your life in quarantine be?
I don't know. I've literally made like 8 songs. So like to make it one single, I'm going fucking crazy. Leave me alone. I don't know.
I would listen to that
and
song.
That completes it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think
that's a great title.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make it for y'all. That'll be my present for you.
Perfect. What is a challenge that you would add to Dragula?
Maybe something about doing something for the community, like, you know, something that's very like community oriented.
I love that. Yeah. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna laugh at that. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. There's a producer that's writing that down right now. It's like, okay. Maxie, what is the worst date you've ever had?
Oh my God. I've had a lot of dates.
Oh, this is gonna be so embarrassing right now. I'm just kidding. I have nothing to do with it.
You wish.
Oh God. No, we actually did meet once at Black Girl Magic in New York, but
did you meet or did you meet?
No, I just said hi. How are you?
Oh, okay.
Hi, gotta go.
I know how you say hi, now. Anthony. Yeah, I've seen
that. Was a good show. I love.
That was a great show in New York.
Yeah. The worst date. So I went to meet this guy, and he was supposed to be like this Twinkie punk rocker, and I showed up to his house, and it was like this bougie mansion, and I was like, how the fuck, you know? And then I was like, must have been his parents. And then I like opened the door, and it was this guy that was not the one that I was talking to.
Hey, you know what though? For a mansion, sometimes you gotta close the eyes for that role.
No. I was like, I gotta go smoke a cigarette, and then I went outside and I smoked a cigarette and drove off.
I love that. In a Maxi Glamour drive off. I can literally envision that. I want that to be in your music video. Yes. Maxie, tell our viewers and our listeners where they can find and follow you.
MaxieGlamour.com. That's where I'm at. You can check me there. There's DragFor.Fans. We have the Devil's Cabaret. We have a few episodes that we created, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, just Google Maxie Glamour, and that's where I'm at.
And what is the Devil's Cabaret?
Devil's Cabaret is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Devil's Cabaret. It's just kind of like a hedonistic underground show that's focused on just the dark underworld of performance art. We worked with burlesque and drag performers from all over the world, and we wanted to create something that was erotic. And it's like a 3-part series that's on there, and you can check it out. DragFor.Fans, and it's free for anyone who wants to.
It's just at the Devil's Cabaret.
Yeah, DragFor.Fans, DragFor.Fans / The Devil's Cabaret. The
Devil's Cabaret, one word, yeah. So definitely check that out. It's really cool stuff.
I'm gonna watch it after the show. Maxie, thank you so much for chatting with us. Gorgeous as usual, and it was such a great opportunity to get to know you. And you guys have to watch Dragula. It's on Netflix, and it's a very interesting, artistic, and satisfying ride. So check that out. Thank you so much, Maxie.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Bye.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, Tora Hyman.
Oh, you and me both, girl.
Okay. All right, and we're back. That's how we take breaks around here. I want to introduce our next guest, Tora Himan. That's Tora with one Hyman, is your glamorous, larger-than-life, curvy camp queen. Tora Hyman is best described as the life of the party, pumpkin spice holding, glitter-loving, basic bitch that you love to love and give even more love to. Tora Hyman is the current winner, Queen of Camp of Season 2 of Camp Wannakiki, a YouTube drag reality show that puts a campy drag competition outdoors in nature. And she is the current and OG diva for the new adult by design cruise line, Virgin Voyages. Nothing virgin about this queen, though. Please welcome Tora.
Oh my gosh, hello. I'm running through my house.
What did I know?
You're giving us like a tour. It's like Cribs.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so
she's running for the police, girl. She's running for the police.
Literally running. Now, quick, do it again. Okay, I'm ready.
Do it again. Let me run.
I don't run for anyone. Oh my gosh.
I only run my mouth.
So I have gloves on because it's quarantine, so I couldn't hit the button to be like, let me in.
Oh,
I was like running to my.
I gotta get some of those gloves. Did you see that?
I made them. Aren't they fabulous?
Oh my God, they are. Are they available for sale?
Yeah, I'll mail you some.
She sells her gloves, her panties, whatever you want, girl. It's quarantine. Yeah. What do you want? You could sell it at the DragFor.Fans marketplace.
That's right. You take what you need, girl.
Mama's got bills. T-shirts. I do need one of your Tora Hyman t-shirts, though. Tora, I want to know, what was your first exposure to drag, and what was your first performance like?
Okay, so my first exposure, I was living in New York City. My ex took me to a restaurant called Lips. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, it's legendary. So I was there sitting, and they were serving us Italian food, as like any drag queen does. And and so I just look over, and there's this, like, I'm assuming like 300 plus drag queen, 6'8", huge lady. She comes over and she's like, "Hi, can I take your order?" And I was terrified. I didn't get it.
It wasn't Wendy Williams.
Oh, Latrice. Oh, Latrice.
Oh God, I wish it was Latrice. Her name is All Beef Patty. Yeah. So she was on
I love being gay.
America. What is that? America's Got Talent. Yeah. So she's lost all the weight now, but she served me, and then all of a sudden I was like intrigued, and I was like, well, like any person who goes to school for musical theater, I gotta become a drag queen. So I did.
Here you are.
Okay.
Yeah. My first performance was, oh my gosh, I performed with Ginger Minge at a diner in Orlando, and I played Sue Sylvester from Glee.
Oh, I love that.
That's amazing.
And I did Let's Get Physical with my little person roommate. So he's a little person, and he played Becky. It was horrible. So not appropriate.
That's good though, but you know,
oh no.
And that's what I love. That's what I love about camp drag, is you can be inappropriate. You don't have to be politically correct because it's not malicious. It's good natured and it's smart humor. You can't do camp well if it's not smart, because then it just doesn't fall right.
Camp is just larger than life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Camp Wannakiki, YouTube drag competition. And I watched the whole season, by the way. I watched it
live.
I rewatched parts. No, I did. I literally did.
I made him do homework.
Yes, I was like, want to have a Kiki? Yes, of course I do. How do you think being on a non-network free show on YouTube has its advantages over a big production like a Drag Race?
Well, they can kind of do what they want. Like, for instance, they don't want the drama so much. They just want to show classic drag and like people who excel at it. They don't need the, you know, the snarky comments, which are, let's be honest, kind of produced. So they don't have to produce it. It's actually real. And they don't, if it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, okay, you know, 35,000 people watched it. You know, so they don't need it.
Wow.
But that's a really good point. And from the minute the show started, there was the sense of, you know, everybody was in it together. Whereas, like, you know, when you're on a bigger reality show, you have to get those catchphrases in. You want the memes made of you. So you go in on a mission rather than just being yourself in your personality. And that was so apparent from the very first few minutes. I was like, wow, they're here to compete and have fun and support each other. What was it like during filming of the show, though? Did you guys actually stay like there for like real? Was there any drama behind the scenes?
We stayed at an actual kids camp in cabins, legit in the middle of like early May, which in Wisconsin, it was like 32 degrees. And then the highest was like 50 degrees.
Oh my God.
I love it.
We were in a cabin, one room, all 12 of us in one room.
No.
Oh my God.
The bathroom is not in that building. It is down the hill.
I remember those camps when I was a kid. Yeah. So where did you guys get ready? Did you have like a dressing room, or you had to just get ready using the cabin bathroom?
So there was a picnic table in the middle. There was a picnic table in the middle of the room that we all shared.
Oh my
God.
Like, no.
I am a diva, so I have my vanity. Then I unfolded, lights, plugged it in, and we're like, let's do it at 5 a.m, mind you. So then everyone else is like in their beds. There was a couple people at the table. Some people went down to the public bathroom. Like, terrifying.
That is amazing.
Were there any diva fights, or did anybody get on each other's nerves? Did anybody snore too much?
That Vivica Galactica. Ugh. What up? No, get
for the record, Anthony.
I love her.
Anthony.
I love her. She does a Xenon TV.
We're gonna clip that one.
Yeah. There was only one moment where, you know how they invite queens back. So we had an invite back thing, and there was just one moment where two queens, one blamed it on the queen who was brought back that helped, you know, brought it down, and it was like, we look back at it now, and it was just, we were stressed, we were upset. So everyone gets along still to this day. We love each other, honestly.
Kiki showcased drag queens, drag kings, and trans competitors. I know this is a hot topic, but what is your opinion on members of the trans community competing in strictly drag queen competitions?
Ooh,
all for it, all for it. Like, I come from Orlando, which we have the Parliament House here. And most of our girls are trans, and they are legendary performers, like the best. They can dance, they can sing. They are by far the best performers I've ever seen. They have full right, men, women, drag kings. Like, I go to like Austin Drag Fest. It's phenomenal to see these looks that you don't see on Instagram, because it's not a feminine drag queen. You can see things that you've never seen before through like Landon Cider and other drag kings. It's phenomenal. So all for it.
Freddie Prinze.
Yeah,
because there is the argument that if we're doing, like, if we're on a drag race, a RuPaul's drag race, and it's, you know, it's glamour drag, that a trans person might have a leg up, so to speak, already having feminine features and not having to work so much for their drag. That's the other argument that I've heard on it. And, you know, it's a really hot topic. People get really upset from both sides of this.
I don't think it's so much about looking feminine. I mean, Crystal Method, sure, she's feminine looking, but she's abstract, she's artsy.
Girl, I don't know what she looks like.
Exactly. But like, we're still
hell?
buying it. Like, she's still great.
True.
Yeah. So I don't think it matters so much what you're born with or what you have surgically enhanced, because as long as you're doing a good product at the end of the day, I'm gonna buy it.
Now, do you think that open culture, you know, you said you're talking about Florida. Anthony, you do shows all across the nation. Do you see that there's a difference of acceptance and opinion throughout the nation? I know in LA, it's kind of a taboo thing. It's like, we don't see a lot of trans performers on stage at all.
Well, yeah, there's definitely going to be a little bit of differing opinions, but it's the same as as being gay in the military. When you know, when everyone's going to be a racist, or I'm sorry, a homophobic Southern boy until they know a homo, and then all of a sudden they're your friends. And it's kind of the same in the drag world and our world as a whole. Like as soon as you start meeting them, as soon as you start seeing them, then all of a sudden your attitude changes. Like the Harvey Milk way of looking at being gay. It's like, let people know, call your ignorant ass because they'll love you. And it's kind of that. And I think that kind of is what it is. It's, you got to calm down.
Calm down, bitch.
You got to calm down. But there is definitely. And I think LA is kind of shocking that they wouldn't be more open about it because it's such a large city. But places like New York City, no. I mean, you make it on your street cred chops. If you can't, you could be the most beautiful cis whatever, and they'll see right through you if you don't have it. So that's just how it is. So
that LA culture, it's also, hot buttons are talking about body positivity and racial inclusivity, yet it's the cute pretty boys, the gym boys that are getting into the clubs first. It's them that are being lauded as Instagram stars. And we're still having those token Latin nights and token whatever nights to fulfill that crowd.
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday again at
It's like, girl, I'm Latino and I'm a curvy girl. It's taco every day for me. Okay?
Now I'm hungry.
They call me guacamole.
Guacamole. You guys, I am so stupid, and this quarantine has played with my brain. I was chopping up avocado, and I hate doing any kitchen work. And I'm sitting there, and I said out loud, I'm like, God damn, why don't they just come out with something like a spreadable avocado? This is too much work. No. I was an embarrassment to my people. Hashtag guacamole.
Why don't they come out with guacamole?
Oh my God, I couldn't even believe I said that out loud. Oh my God. Tora, why was it so important for you to win season 2 of Camp Wannakiki?
Because I spent all that money. Mama's got bills to pay.
Tell me about it. Yes.
I wanted to kind of going exactly with what you just said. In the United States, we have not seen a plus size queen win. We have in other competitions in other countries, but not in the United States. So luckily Camp Wannakiki had a majority plus size cast.
It did. Yep.
Which you never see on, and sadly, RuPaul's Drag Race or anything else. So being that plus size queen for people who have, eating disorders or who just love food at the end of the day, like there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you. So I wanted to win it for the little boy, like who was dancing in his backyard in a muumuu when he was 8 years old.
Oh.
Yeah. That's very sweet.
Okay, no, stop it.
Yeah, I gotta get a little bit
serious. I was gonna blow your eyes off for you, Tora.
Thank you.
No, girl.
And the fact that the show is on YouTube for free, a small boy in Kansas can watch it. Somebody in Idaho can watch it. Mm-hmm. Somebody with no access to this culture, they could look at the big produced shows and think, wow, I can't be a drag queen unless I have all of these outfits and I have all of this, where there's different levels of drag. And it's really about, being who you are. And I think it's a very accessible show to send that message. I want to talk about working for Virgin Voyages. It sounds like a blast.
Oh, yeah, fun.
But I know it's a lot of hard work. What exactly do you do on a cruise?
Everything.
I mean, what you're asked to do, what your job is first, and then we'll get to the other stuff.
So this is the first drag character of its kind on a ship. They've taken the cruise director position and gotten rid of it. So there's a cast called the Happenings cast that they have 14 individuals that they have divided that kind of position up amongst those 14. So you have the diva, who is the drag queen, who is glamour, glitz. She is going to host your show. She is going to host a drag bingo. She's doing brunch and dinner. She is like the voice and the image of the ship. You have the hostess, you have the foodie, you have the fitness person. So you have whatever type of personality you can like latch onto that you follow in life. So you can just steer your own path on the ship instead of someone being forced at you.
I love that.
Yeah, it's super cool. So the diva does about 12-hour days. It's dreadful.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So I host a brunch, I host dinner, I host an ice cream show. There's tons of shows that there's something for everyone, and it's something for everyone, but it's all adult by design.
Do you have any fun ship stories that we should hear?
Oh gosh, so many. Okay, I took a really fun, you can see this on my DragFor.Fans. I took a fun photo. I didn't get to get off the ship in Liverpool, England, but I was like, I have to do something. So we're pulled in right there in Liverpool doing all this press. Celebrities are on the ship. And I'm up there in this like pink bedtime outfit. No one's on the top deck because it's cold. And I was like, I'm going to take my tits out and I'm going to have a titty picture in Liverpool. Sure did.
Good for you, girl.
But only on
Good for you.
Thank you. DragFor.Fans.
Thank you.
That's so funny.
Tora, what's the hookup culture where you are at right now? Are people still hooking up? Are they staying home? And like, what's happening?
Talking about this, Tora. You were just talking about this on your Facebook Live, no?
I was, because I want other people's feedback. So just today on
you hooked up with 4 people.
God, I wish. No.
All right, you can go now. Someone leave.
Yes, yeah. It has been a year. Mama is dry. I am the Virgin Voyages. So just today, I'm sitting there on Growler, just like, I'm not looking for anything, but you know, you got to check the messages.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
get bored. Yeah.
So someone's like, hey, June 5th, Universal Meetup. Let's have like a gay days thing. Mind you, the parks are opening like super minimum capacity, like social distancing. And I'm like, people are planning that. People are messaging me like, hey, you want to come over to an orgy? The gays on the Instagram are posting, you know, out having a boat party this weekend.
Yep.
And I'm
pool
like,
parties were huge this weekend.
Huge. And I'm like, guys, we're still dealing with this pandemic.
Yep.
So I just don't get it.
Now, let's say you knew that you didn't have COVID. Somebody who wanted to hook up with you just got tested and they don't have COVID. Is it okay to go to their house and hook up?
I say no, because it could live in you dormant for 14 days? You just don't know. Like you just have to be careful at this. Like, I don't want anyone, here's the thing. I can control what I do, but I don't want to infect anyone else if I did have it and hurt and kill someone or someone else down the line.
So, and some people are saying, well, but we're still going to the grocery store. We're still, you know, now we're going to the beaches. So is it on the same par of that we're exposing ourselves? We might as well just expose ourselves.
I mean, there is that whole thing where it's called, is it called hereditary or something like that, where 60 to 80% of the culture has to get it to like find a cure or something for it. So I understand that, but if we can slow it down for the hospitals and slow it down for the, you know, the testing centers, let's slow it down. I don't think the beach is a necessity. I think the grocery store is, and I think the Chinese store down the road is, but because Mama loves her some Chinese.
And the liquor store too, by the way.
Oh, girl.
Oh,
Mama
they deliver.
Box wine. I got the 3-liter box.
Did you? Oh, it's what is it? 74 glasses or something crazy? Like it says it in the box. Like, 36.
Yeah, just put a straw in the box.
36.
It's like an adult drink thing.
But you guys, box wine gets such a bad rap. It's so good, and it lasts you for like a whole quinceañera.
I made a whole sangria last week with it.
But you didn't muddle that with fruit. I know you. You're like, it
I
takes up too
left
much
it
room.
in the sun. I left it in the sun all day to ferment. I just drank that bitch. I'm fruity enough.
Tora, I wanna play a little rapid fire with you. Are you game?
Always game. DTF.
What would your own cruise line be called?
The Hymen Voyages.
Ooh. Yes. Where no man has gone before.
Well, every man usually.
Woohoo! Celebrity you would want to share your quarantine bed with?
Oh, okay. Oh gosh, so many men. Oh, I'm just trying to think of a big black guy. Any of them, really.
What was his name? That was just on the last one.
Honey Davenport.
Honey Davenport, Maxie Glamour, all of them. Bring them in.
Hey, Honey told us how hung Honey is.
Honey Davenport.
We could do a whole thing with Honey. Okay. I see crossover there.
Talk about Winnie the Pooh. Okay. The most un-drag queen thing that you do in real life, whether it's a hobby or a habit.
Oh gosh. The most un-drag queen thing. Oh god, I'm pretty gay. I'm like extremely gay. I go to what? What did you say?
She just leans over.
I'm a little gassy sometimes. That's a good one.
I'm a little gassy.
I want to think of something really good for you. Like, I'm just super gay. I don't think I have any non-drag. I'm literally much a full-time drag queen.
Okay. All right. Okay. First thing you do when you got home, or the first thing you did do when you got home from filming your season of Camp Wannakiki?
You're gonna judge me. So I drove to camp and back. So it was 22 hours each way.
Oh my God.
I have a Prius that was $75. It was worth it. So I pull into my house, leave my car packed, and I had a gig that night. So I had to play Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, I had to play Mrs. Doubtfire for a corporate gig. So I sure did throw a quick light beat, put that old lady drag on, and go to the gig.
My God, good for you. That is somebody that is devoted to their craft.
Yeah.
And you're like, bitch, I'm a winner.
Did you know though? You were crowned at the Austin International Drag Festival, right?
Or
did you know
there,
prior?
yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was already known and everything happened, and you were just
so like they filmed 4 separate endings.
Interesting. Okay, what drag name would you give Trump?
Oh gosh, just the orange Cheeto. It's so generic, but like, my God, it's dreadful.
I think that's being nice. I don't mind a hot Cheeto here and there.
Just if he's running the country, I do.
Yeah.
Can we all take a drink?
I know, we're all like, it's funny. Funny. Did you guys hear? He's actually fighting with Twitter today. Today he used Twitter to talk crap about Twitter, saying, rah, 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 rah. I'm not going to stand for Twitter, using Twitter. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Tora, tell our viewers and our listeners where they can find you and follow you.
Okay, so DragFor.Fans /Tora Hymen. You can find me there. Please subscribe. It's like $4.99, super cheap. And there's my titties around there, so whatever. Also, Instagram @Tora Hymen. It's spelled Hyman. A little fun thing.
Yes.
Also, Twitter, all the good stuff. And Facebook @Team Hymen.
All right. We love you. And you guys watch season 2 of Camp Wannakiki on YouTube for free. It's a fun show, and you'll get to see Tora win 3 challenges, by the way. I won't tell you which ones they are, but
I won this wig.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
And
it looks good, girl. Thanks, God. Tora, I hope to see you soon, and hey, maybe I'll see you on a cruise.
I hope so. Come visit.
I will. All right, bye, Tora.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Tora.
Have fun not hooking up.
Horrible.
Nice.
All right, our final guest for tonight, because you Cheeki Kahnt is the bald-headed, hairy-chested queen of Austin, Texas. She is the hostess with some of the mostest. She sings, dances, and moves to a beat that only she can hear. Please welcome Cheeki Kahnt.
Woo!
There she is.
Is she in the bathtub?
Hi. Am I on? I've been watching. It's still on YouTube right now.
Yeah. There you are.
Are you in the tub?
Let me say one thing real quick. Alejandro Rodriguez. Spreadable avocado.
Oh my God, I know. I'm so embarrassed.
Uh-oh, they were listening.
No. I spread my avocado every morning. It's very easy. You just get a butter knife and you spread it. My mama taught me.
I'm the worst Latino. I'm a Twinkie. I'm white on the inside and brown on the outside. Like, I am just awful. I'm the worst Latino. I'm still waiting for my quinceañera.
Oh my, me too.
Oh, we should give you one.
Okay. What's double 16? What is that? What is double 16? Anyone? I'm a music
32.
theater major.
32.
Yeah.
Oh, so already passed my double quinceañera. Okay.
Oh no, quince is 15.
We'll go for the third one. Why not that? We'll wait till the
Well, I'll bake you all a quadruple lime cake with a fountain on top if it makes you feel better.
As long as it's lactose free, because I'm lactose intolerant, we do not need a warm night in the Kahnt
I think that'll make it exciting.
That's a fun date. Anthony, this is a great idea. This is a great idea for an event. I would love to go to my quinceañera. You should have a quinceañera for adults. I think you should.
We should do adult. Well, I was going the drag route, but
I will definitely I will put your name underneath somewhere on that, but I'm gonna take that. I'm sorry, I have to take
Okay.
that.
All right.
Get ready, Austin, Texas, quinceañera. It's coming.
I'm used to taking 20% of everything anyway, so just
Okay.
what I do. Go be rich.
That's what your boyfriend told me.
Floor.
So Cheeki, we have been celebrating on tonight's show. We've been celebrating diversity in drag, really all over the map. You have a very distinctive look. I mean, your intro, bald-headed, hairy-chested. How would you describe your drag? And what was your first, or how did you build this character?
Oh my God, what is this picture that you found? Well,
I do research, girl. I have your mugshot too. Your mugshot's gonna pop up.
No, it's not. My parents.
She was wearing that crown, same crown.
I am no longer on the probation. We're good. We're past that. It's fine. No, so it's funny, in college, you know, like I said, I was a music theater major. A lot of my roommates became drag queens later on in life. If not when they lived with me, but right after when they lived with me. In fact, my best friend.
That's what it does to you. Yeah. Living with Cheeki turns you into a drag queen.
It took me like 12 years later to ever develop a drag character. I moved to New York in 2007, and my first role was an off-Broadway show at Gallery Players in Victor, Victoria, and I was one of the showgirls. And in fact, that was the first show my parents ever came to New York City to see. And I remember my dad and my mom, they were both sitting in the front row. And as soon as I turn around in the very last scene when I'm finally in like full drag, I turn around and my dad goes, "Oh shit." Oh shit! I had no idea. I did not tell my parents. I didn't want them to know. And like I sashayed my way down the stairs. Oh, it was hilarious. It was great. That and then I did an East Coast tour of Rocky Horror, and getting to do Frankenfurter in that kind of pushed me into that era where like, oh, I want to play with androgyny and what can I do with this? And then when I moved to Austin many moons later, I was in a production of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where I was understudy for Mitzi, for Mitzi Mitosis. It was going to be a Mexican Mitzi had the other actor gone down. It was going to be fabulous. But that really got me into this essence of like, okay, I think I want to do this. I think I want to try it out. And I had friends in the community who were like, you should do this. It's a character study. You get to build a character. You have complete control. There's no director. There's no playwright. There's no one telling you how to construct your character. So do it the way you want to. And during Priscilla, I had shaved my chest. And I said, but I can't do it anymore. Like I had eczema, so like I broke out. It was red. It was awful. And I was like, I'm never going to go through this again. And my friend was like, my friend Sable, she's one of the queens here in Austin. She was like, girl, you can do it with a hairy chest. It's fine. Just make it your part of your character. So I have.
Yeah. And I love that.
And I'm a very sweaty, hairy Mexican. So when I wear a wig, I sweat worse than Latrice ever does. So I really will wear a wig, especially right now. It's the summertime. Usually this is when I do like brunch shows and pool shows. I don't wear a wig at all through the summer. Once we hit the winter time, then I'll throw on a few wigs. I'll glue shit to my head and we'll have a fun time.
Oh. In the summer, it's Soul Glow. Remember? From Coming to America, it's just Soul Glow wig. Just glistening. Leave marks on every couch you sit on.
No, I have one wig that I do wear when I want to jump into water because it has like that fun, like, Beyonce drunken love situation. You know, it's like a cute little bob that looks stringy. It's very Willem and wonderful.
Oh, that's good.
So
funny.
Cheeki, when somebody says Austin, Texas, drag doesn't necessarily come to my mind first, but it is home to a huge international festival. Tell me how this started and tell me about your part in it.
Okay, so first of all, Austin, Texas is literally a city that is a gremlin. Like, as soon as it rains, new drag queens pop up everywhere. No, seriously, I popped up. Who knew? I pop up. Anyone can pop up.
Pop up.
It's this wonderful festival, though, and we do have a lot of drag talent, and not just drag queens. We have drag kings, we have non-binary, really the trans community. We have the gamut of what is drag, what makes the drag community here in Austin, Texas. And that's really what the festival celebrates, honestly, is the diversity and the inclusivity of what drag really is. Because at the root of it, like when you think about it, you think about Stonewall. Who was Martha B. Johnson? She was a trans queen. That's where it starts. I mean, the ball scene. This is where our community derives from, and that's what we celebrate anyone and everyone. Girl, if you want to put on a piece of lipstick and an eyelash, we'll celebrate you. If you can turn a number, do it. Why not? You know, like James St. James says, you know, if you have a hump on it, you know, throw some glitter on it and, you know, dance around. It's fun. Whatever you want to do.
It's always worked well for me. But I have to tell you, I was doing a drive-a-thon across the United States, and I stopped off in Austin for 2 nights. The clubs there welcomed me. I was a guest MC, and the community was so open and loving. I was like, they didn't know me from anything, and I felt like family immediately. And I was also surprised by so much culture and music. Literally every restaurant and club had an amazing band that was playing live, even for like lunch. And it was like, oh my God, it is such, and the huge theater out there for performing arts. It was such a surprise to me. And what a rich culture with history and so many different types of people being okay with hanging out with different types of people. The music festival I attended as well, and it was every kind of person you can imagine.
I mean, I've been at some of the gay bars, and Matthew McConaughey's dancing with his wife in a party. You know, like we get right.
Girl.
I know.
Started.
Bodie.
Oh, hi. All right. I was like, hi, nice. Can I get a picture? They weren't seeing queens that night, but they were there up in the club, and they were having a great time. It's true.
Local boy.
But no, at the festival, we definitely do like to celebrate everyone, and I think that's the beauty of the festival. Anthony, you've been there. I'm so sorry, Anthony, you had to witness me hosting as well.
No, it was good. I went there, and it was the first big outing of DragFor.Fans, and I went with Vivica Galactica. Was our house our house mother, or whatever we want to call her, and we set up a little thing. This was after DragCon, and so we went to DragCon in New York, and Honey, we were part of her and the Vixens thing. So we were like secondary. And we went over to Austin. I talked my boss into it, and he was 100% on board. And we went to do this with this we didn't know what to expect at all. And it blew my mind. It was amazing. It was, and all the parties and all these underground cool parties that were going on around town all weekend. And I went there thinking, oh, we'll sign up 15, 20 performers maybe. We signed up like 70 people to DragFor.Fans. And I said him once already tonight, but Freddie Prinze Charming just blew my mind on every time he showed up. He's a drag king. And he showed up, and he was just like, when they did that Elton John thing and the whole thing, it really was. It was not on the scale of like a drag con, but it was also, it took away the corporate edge that
I was just gonna say
corporate. And the thing with the festival is that we don't want to. So with DragCon, which is lovely and wonderful,
it's great for what it is.
You get to meet a lot of the people that you want to meet, and that's that for me. I've never been to a DragCon before, and what I'm told, that's the focus, is to get to meet the people and get to have a moment with them, and that's wonderful. But Austin Drag Fest, International Drag Festival, we focus on the performance. We want you to see your performer do what they do best. And we bring in performers literally from all over the world. We have people from New Zealand. We had people from Australia this last year, from television.
Artist was there.
UK, all over the US, Canada, anywhere we can get submissions from, and then we can afford to bring them over, we will. But like, we had Art Simone this last year from Australia as one of our headliners. We've had so many of the Dragula gals over with the Boulay brothers as well, and we've had Drag Race performers before they were even on Drag Race, which is really cool. We host Camp Wannakiki comes and partners with us, and they have their auditions there. I
love it.
is actually at our festival, which is phenomenal to see. And I think something that really like kind of warmed my heart this year was getting to see Rockham on Drag Race this year, because she's been part of the festival for so many years in the past, and getting to see kind of someone who was like there with us from the start, getting her big break on Drag Race. That for me, that was beautiful. Like, I know we talk about it at almost every meeting that we have. Like, oh, isn't that so cool for her to get that opportunity? But it's a great place for everyone to really network. I'm in charge of the hosts for the weekend, and I like to use a lot of the local queens and local kings in our community as our hosts, because I want us to be ambassadors to our city.
Yeah.
We're here. You want to know something about our city. Where can you go get, glitter at a last minute? Where can you go get some lashes? Where can you, this, that? And you need people who live there to know, hey, if you take an Uber over here, it's 5 minutes, it'll be maybe $5, go grab this. Or if you need some alcohol before the liquor store closes, it's right around the corner from the host hotel. You know from the host who to go talk to, because we're there and we want to share our city as much as possible. And
Austin's a great city for it.
It's a really cool city for it. I've been here for almost 7 years now, and I don't think I can be anywhere else. I was in New York before here, and I just love being in Austin now. I mean, New York, I think, always will have a home space in my heart, but Austin's my other home. I can't leave here.
Cheeki, I want to talk. Oh, I'm definitely going to come this next year, because it's in November, right?
Well, okay, so we're looking for 2021. We had some money issues that we're still trying to get out of, and some legal issues that we've had a restructure and a shakeup of our board due to some of this stuff that we've had to deal with.
Yeah,
which is why we're working with DragFor.Fans to start getting some money to kind of pay off some things and to get ready for 2021, because we do want to make it a bigger and better festival. Traditionally, it is in November. We are looking at different dates, just kind of seeing where the city is going to be at that point. We're in Texas. So Texas, as you've probably seen, is opening. My home bar, Sellers Underground, if you don't mind me plugging it,
no.
The first gay bar to open back up in Austin. We opened on Friday. There's no DJ and no performers yet. But I do a show called Kiki with Cheeki. Hey. And it's the watch. Hi. It matches. It rhymes. And it is the unofficial watch party for Drag Race. And we're talking about maybe having me back for All Stars starting maybe next week when it premieres, which will be interesting. I have ordered a face shield. I already have a mask. I work at Trader Joe's, so I've been out in this the whole time. I've been an essential this whole time, which is a whole other aspect in my own head.
Thank you.
But I definitely feel okay with being out there. I know that there are some people who probably won't be, and I get that completely. Like I said, I've been out in it since March, since this has all started. I haven't. Thank God I haven't, I still have a job. I didn't know 13 years ago when I started at Union Square Trader Joe's that I would have job security through a pandemic. No one ever thinks.
Is that the one that has the wine?
Yes, I was at the wine shop.
Yeah, there's one Trader Joe's in New York that has the Charles Shaw or the $2 Chuck.
And Charles Shaw has gotten me through many, many tough times.
Oh,
let me tell you, if you're in that wine shop,
City.
You see the twine wrapped around the poles by the register. That was my doing in 2012.
You will live on. You will live on.
I live on, girl. I live on.
Rent rate.
Cheeki, let's talk about some of the reality of what you are going through as an essential worker. What is a day at work like for you in this new climate?
It's been weird, honestly, and that's for lack of a better word, it's been weird. You have people who get it and who understand, and you have people who don't get it. And Austin is considered that one spot of blue in Texas, but honey, we still have the red. Like, you still have those people here. And it's interesting when you see people who are over 60, who are obviously having issues with their own, and who are older than 60, who still want to like argue with you, like why they have to wait in a line if they're outside, even when we have elderly hours, but who don't want to wear a mask when they come inside, who don't understand how to treat themselves as asymptomatic. Because that's what we have to do. Like, if you go out in the world, you need to treat yourself as if you're asymptomatic right now. That's what I do. That's what my coworkers do. And that's what any educated person who leaves their house is doing, you know? And that's not 100% of the people in Austin. But I mean, that's not 100% of the people here in the US, honestly. I mean, you see the stories and it's true. You know, you see, you know, I love my company and they've taken very good care of us. The one thing that they won't do, and they're pretty hard on, is that we can't mandate that you have to wear a mask to come in the store, which is a very simple thing. But with all the backlash that has happened in other states and other cities, they don't want any harm to come to us. So as long as they let us wear the mask, they feel that that's okay, which is fine. And we have the plexiglass, and we have other systems in place that really that are in place to protect us. And so that's nice. And it's nice to know that I'm working for a company that cares.
Well, thank you thank you so much, and thank you for everything you're doing for the drag community at large in Austin. Are you ready to play a little rapid fire with us?
I mean, I have my drink here. I have this ready in case I have to re-up, but I'm ready.
Okay. Something drag related you will only see in Austin.
Cowboys.
That's called trade. That's called trade, and unfortunately, that bar.
It's called trade. I was in the Air Force. I called them Marines.
I say love. I would say love and inclusivity. I think we are a very big market for queens and performers in general. We have a lot. We were saturated with drag, kings, queens, trans, everybody across our rainbow. We got it, and everyone loves everybody. Yes, there's clubs that maybe don't hire as much or that don't show off as much, but for the most part, I'd say across the board, people want people to perform. If you're entertaining, you're gonna be seen on a stage, and we really strive to really push that in our community.
I love that. What is the most overperformed song in drag?
Oh, Lord.
Well, one thing that I personally overperform, but I love because I was on tour for it, is Sweet Transvestite. But I love it, and I sing
that's a crossover one, though. I mean, that brings in, that's not a gay song or nothing like that.
It's also sung at every karaoke bar in the world too, over and over.
You're welcome, honey. You're welcome. But I would say, and I am telling you, or really right now, anything done by Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Cheeki, have you had relations in drag?
Mom, are you still watching?
My boyfriend's watching.
No, honey, I'm single.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't you. I'm like, this is the wrong person.
There may have been one slip up, and I warned him about the glitter afterwards.
Okay. You have to spend $50 at Trader Joe's on one type of product, and you're going to get $50 worth of it. What are you buying?
Oh, the Scandinavian swimmers, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you. So we bought so for Easter, because we ordered for Easter before the whole Corona thing happened. A month ahead, we have like our big orders in, and we ordered the Easter eggs that are gummies that are filled. They're like the gushers, but they're more natural.
Yeah.
Gushers. We ordered, I don't even know how many cases. So when it came down to Easter weekend, we had like extra, like a surplus. So they went down to literally a penny each. I bought 2 cases. 2 cases. Yeah. 2 cases is
Still have any left?
100 packages of it. And there was a day where I spent 8 hours and I drove around to family and friends in the community and I gave out packages of the gummies to people.
Oh, that's sweet.
You're such a giver.
I didn't see anybody in a long time. I live by myself. I have a house out towards the country, so I'm out of the city. And I just wanted to see people. I want to see the people that I love. I want to see smiles, even if they were behind a mask. I could see And I was like, here's your candies. I swear it's sanitized. Here's your candies.
Talk about trick or treat.
Girl trying to give back a little Scandinavian swimmers to the people.
You know, if you can't
I'm just a country girl trying to give back Scandinavian swimmers to the people. Fuck toilet paper. You girls want some Scandinavian swimmers. I bought them from
It was great. I still have a few
off my truck.
who were home.
From Jersey, you just fell off my truck.
If you want some too, I'll mail you some too.
Yes. Okay. The shadiest thing you've seen backstage during a drag show.
The shadiest thing?
Want a drink.
Austin, there's not that much shade. Excuse me, I've had some Tito's.
Make something up.
You've been the shadiest thing in the drag. Honestly. If I'm running the show, I'm like, where the fuck are you? You're late. Get over here now. I will call a girl out if she is not on time. And I'll do it on the mic too. Although I will say, there was one time last year, Ariel Versace came in and kind of like tried to take over the end of Soju's number at a club.
I was there. Yep.
And this was after I had eaten cake out of the butt of a go-go boy for my number.
Cake for cake.
That's what I do.
Not Christian.
You'll see it on DragFor.Fans eventually. He's already agreed to come over to the house to do it. It's gonna be on my DragFor.Fans eventually because we can do that on there. But I took my wig off my head and I threw it in Ariel's face. That was the shadiest thing I've ever done. I love that. I didn't mean to throw it with as much power as I did. I know I'm a little Nelly, but I guess I don't realize what my strength is sometimes. So I threw it and I chunked. It was good.
All right,
and that
Cheeki,
was a polyester wig.
You're welcome, America. You're welcome.
Cheeki, that was a good one. Cheeki, can you tell our viewers and listeners where they can find and follow you?
You can find me on @QueenCheekyATX, literally everywhere, including Venmo if you think I'm pretty and you want to.
Yes.
Queen Cheeki with an I, ATX. And then very soon you will see Austin Drag Fest under Austin Drag Fest on DragFor.Fans. We're working on it, Anthony. I'll be emailing you tomorrow.
Perfect.
I already saw you on there. You already signed up. I saw.
Are we good? Oh, things went silent. Are we good? Okay.
Yeah. And Anthony, tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you.
Where they can find me? Okay, well, they can find me on Instagram at Mr. Anthony John. I'm the DragFor.Fans admin on DragFor.Fans, so if anything's posted there, you'll see me there. And you can always follow me on Facebook, / Anthony John Presents. Or go to Anthony John. Go to MrAnthonyJohn.com and you could sign up for my email blast. The website's getting started, but I'll send you email.
I love it. What a fun show, celebrating diversity so much. And that's all, folks. It's always a grab bag of fun every week on the Rocks. You never know who's going to show up. Give us a like, subscribe, and a share. Send nudes. Head to ontherocksradioshow.com for all of this fun for free. And hopefully we will be back in the studio soon. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay tipsy. See you next week.
Bye.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram @OnTheRocksOnAir. Find everything On the Rocks for free at OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.
Can you tell that I'm in my bathtub right now? You have to press unmute. It's on.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. No, right away I thought, I'm like, oh, she's in her bathtub. I love it.
I was having a Mariah Carey moment.
Oh, were you? Who was it? Oh, Madonna did that whole bathtub thing in the beginning of quarantine. Remember?
I heard about this. I never saw it. I heard
she's in the bathtub and she's talking about how coronavirus is the great equalizer that makes us all equal in our death sentence. And I'm like,
kind of what I heard a weird thing like that.
Like, if you want to get freaked out, go just scroll through her Instagram. She freaks me out.